Hey, good morning everyone. Yesterday I put out a video doing my pack dump, and I had a couple of people ask me a couple of questions about when I was talking about my SRT ropes and how I get my SRT climbing line up in the tree by using a shorter rope and utilizing paracord. So just for a quick explanation, there's a couple different ways to do it, and I like to have both, but I have 75 feet of Tuffelberger Platinum, which is my favorite rope for SRT climbing, and I like to have the 75 feet because with 75 feet, especially when I'm going in setting presets, I find that I can throw my throw ball up into the canopy of the tree, and even if I don't hit the limb that I want or whatever, once I'm up in that canopy of the tree, it just makes it a lot easier for me to get into the tree. So I can canopy hitch either the girth of the tree or, a couple limbs, as long as they're good, safe limbs, I can do that. Or I can even come back down and I can base tie to the base of the tree. Now, when I do that, I have to carry 75 feet of rope. And the 75 feet of rope, it's a little bit more bulky because you're carrying more rope. But another thing you can do is you can carry a shorter climbing line. Like here I have, this is probably about 25 or 30 feet of phantom rope, but I make up the difference by using some paracord. So I'm carrying maybe, I don't know, end to end, probably carrying about 60 or 70 feet of between climbing line and paracord. And what I do is I take my climbing line and I tied about a 8 or 10 inch loop in one end with a figure 8 on a bite, and then what I'll do is when I come to my tree, I'm going to pull my paracord. I'm going to take my piece of paracord, and to show you exactly how I do this. So I basically take a piece of paracord, I'll tie a loop in it, and then I'll take that loop, I'll fold it over on itself like that, spin it around, and this way I can girth hitch my rope. I'll take the end of my rope, the opposite end of the rope from the loop that I have in it, I'll take it down in here and I'll pull this real tight on it. And really set it in there good and tight so that when I pull, that's not going to come off, okay? Then I'm going to take the other end of my paracord and when I come up to my preset paracord loop that's in the tree, I'm going to fasten this guy basically the same way. Tie a loop in it, and I'll just tie off to this just so that I have a way to pull my paracord up over my limb and see my climbing lines going up. Now once I get to the end where I had tied my paracord, the paracord that's on my climbing line from my paracord preset, I'll disconnect them. And it's a good idea to try and get your paracord from your preset kind of out of the way, because sometimes you don't want them to get all wrapped up and tangled. I'll usually wrap it around the tree. And then what I want to do is this is the paracord that was on the end of my climbing line, and I want this to go through the loop on my climbing line. Now I'm going to do two things here. I'm going through this loop, but I'm also going to take this end and tie it to this end of the loop. Okay, so first I'm going to pull it down through so I don't get pull enough down through. Let's see. And I'm basically going to take this end, and this is a very important step because you want this end here is going to, this is what's going to help me pull this thing back out of the tree. You want to make sure you have a really nice, good, strong knot, whatever knot you like, but I usually tie a bowl in here, just I do not want this thing to come off, otherwise my climbing line's stuck up in the tree. You could always climb back up and tie it up from up above, and some guys probably do that, but I just like to do this when I'm all down on the ground. So I got a bowline knot there, and now I'm just going to keep pulling as I pull my paracord through this loop, it's just basically a slip knot, and that's going to go all the way up and girth hitch either the limb or the girth of the tree. Okay, so now I've got my climbing line. It's girth hitched around either the limb or the girth of the tree, however you positioned your line. And then what I'll do is I'll take this loop back off of the end here. Now I have my climbing line and I have my paracord, and I can still use both ends of this to pull my gear up as well. So if I want, I can tie maybe my pack on the end of my climbing line and then hook up my ascender, my gree and my hand ascender, climb up the rope, and I can tie my bow off to the paracord. I have two lines hanging down to pull my stuff up into the tree, and that works. And then when I want to pull my line back out, all I have to do is I've got my paracord tied to that loop up there, and you just pull it back down. That's it. It's down and out. So that's all there is to it. So you can carry less rope. Less rope, it's a little bit less weight, a little less bulk, but you're a little bit more limited in what you can do with this by having the shorter rope, because obviously the shorter the rope, you can't go as high, and you can't base tie. You can't do an alpine butterfly, but you still can kind of gain some of the same benefit that you get with an alpine butterfly, because you still do have two ends of the line hanging down, the paracord and the climbing line. So this is a pretty good way to go if you want to really lean out your pack, carry in less rope, less bulk, less weight. So that's it. All right, so hopefully that answers the question. I think Chad was the one who had that question, so hopefully that answers it. If you have any other ones, just put them in the comments section. I'll try to get to them. All right, thanks guys. Climb safe.